NIO want to replace Tesla as the main EV auto manufacturer in China and around the world, and it hasn't been going to plan over the last year or so after an amazing 4,000% increase over 2020. The proverbial wheels have come off somewhat. Its earnings on Thursday, which could provide a key impetus to return to some sort of more positivity in terms of stock price action, or it might just sink it to even more recent all-time lows. So I'm going to take a look at the charts, do the analysis, throw in a few trade ideas to see where they're heading next. So the weekly line chart showing a fantastic 2020 for NIO, up over 4,000% to those highs around the early $60 mark, and then from early 21 a collapse in the price down nearly 80% to recent lows seen in May, and just bouncing up from there now. All the volume is down in the real low numbers, which was before the 2020 area, and we can see that middle shaded area around $39.40, 61.8% Fibonacci line. I'm going to put a yellow box. A lot of noise there when it broke down again in 22 to those new lows. Again, 23.6% line, around $15-16. You can see over on the left there in June 2020 where it peaked and created that price sort of top zone there before bouncing off and then breaking up through, doing a reverse thing over in May, June currently. And downsides, well, there's not a lot left really for the downside. It breaks under that 15-16 area and it can be all the way back down to lower single digits, and up from there really $25-30. It's got to get up into that yellow block zone between the 50 and 61.8% Fibonacci line, stay there comfortably before thinking about moving higher. 4-line break chart's got a couple of reversal numbers for you for the downside, $17.50 and $16.50. That's if you're bearish in the shorter term for NIO. And onto the daily Heikin Ashi, the shorter term indicator is bullish. We can see the last few days that run up, but the longer term DMI at the bottom there holding bearish. So neutral at the moment in terms of volatility, mid to late 70s where it normally plays, and volume also around its sort of longer term average. And onto price, we've got a 75.4% chance of an up move according to the long term probability power box. We tie that in with the red institutional power zones that often act as support and resistance. You can see the price on there at the moment, so that's good as a base, but we've got that red shaded area, that trend down, so that negates the trade at the moment, so wait till they flip. And we also have a sell signal sort of petering out down there from the 2-line pink box breakout setup. So at the moment it's got a more of a feeling of a weak bearish sort of stagnant look to the price at the moment. So for the Req'd chart, use a 70 cents block size. Our signals at the moment are neutral, the trend is negative, DMI at the bottom there, and the two other signals both bullish, so cancelling each other out. And then we can see on the price trend down, got some Fibonacci trend line sort of targets for you, and like I said earlier, under that sort of 15-16 zone it's down to really capitulation point, no man's land of industry in this EV sector, which really show that they've ended their game. But if earnings, and you can see that pink box there just hovering around close to happening, can turn things around, then $28-29 to the upside, then late 30s, and then back to those highs we've seen in July of last year around $50. But at the moment, a bit like the Heikin Ashi, a sort of weak bearish stagnant feel. So some trade ideas for you courtesy of the First Trade Broker Options Play Scenario Builder. Now I've plugged in a few ideas here. The first one is the straddle. I think it's a bit too late now for that to work with the earnings on Thursday, and also the downside is also quite limited. So we'll just have a play just to see how that trade works out. Now to the downside, really the price has got to get to $11, $11.50 to start making any money there, and it's not much considering the trade cost $574, return of 207, not great. Obviously if there's an upside move, that's very good, but then you probably want the call, which moves us on to the next idea, which is buying the September 17.5 strike call. Enough time for you to make it work, and will reduce the costs. That's a $420 trade, $385 profit if it can get up to around the $25 mark, which is near 100% return. If it does take off, gets up to numbers where it has been around before, so nothing unusual there, gets up to $30 and then it's starting to look a very nice trade indeed. And last trade is if you're still bearish NIO, want to make a bit of income out of it, then got a cool vertical spread here, and it's going to net you $72. Remember, that's a capped return. If we just click on there, we can see the max risk $328, and you can see the payoff profile and how that shapes, and the break evens around $21. So there you go, some trade ideas for you there if you're into options. And what about if you're spread betting CFDs, you can't get your hands on options and the stocks directly? Then let's have a quick look. These and spread bets. Then I've got my Trade Nation account here, just to see if they offer NIO. We scroll down, plenty of US stocks to pick from, and we give it a go down, and there they are, rolling daily contract, margin 7.5%. So okay, leverage there for you, and it will give you a point of view with leverage to the up or downside. So there you go, some ideas for you. So a score for NIO then, based purely off the technicals, it's weak bearish for me, looking a bit more neutral, like I mentioned a few times, looking a bit stagnant overall. Shorter term, bit more mixed, I think, than the longer term. Got a couple of bearish entries for you in the top right hand side off the 4-line break chart, 17.5 and 16.5, and our probability power score gave us a 75% chance of an up move, but again it was the trend countering that idea out with its negative setup at the moment. So you'd have to wait till that flips green if you are more bullish, and maybe a volatility of earnings on Thursday might do so. Now in terms of targets, it's pretty decent to the upside, it can't get much worse really. 4.75 and 7.25 to 1 to the upside, and downside a lot tighter obviously, a lot less room to maneuver, 1.2 and 2.2 to 1. So overall NIO weak bearish. Now unfortunately for NIO, the EV sector is becoming very overcrowded with competition, and more importantly the big boys are stepping in and upping their game as well, making it very difficult for these new players to compete. Now in China, mainland China, NIO might be doing okay, but even there is a huge amount of competition for them to face, and giving back 2/3 of their stock price nearly over the last year has set them back considerably. Now earnings coming up on Thursday, NIO have been a day trader's favourite for the last few years. Where are they going to head next? Technicals at the moment not looking that great, but maybe a spark of volatility around earnings can reignite an up move. We will see. Let me know in those comments below where you think they may be heading next. What's the future of NIO? Love to hear your thoughts. As I say, get started firing in those comments. Love to hear from you. Now if you've liked today's video, please give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell buttons, and all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. Good luck with the trading. I'll see you in the next video.